on the call. We wanted to make sure that we did a webinar about coaching and medical professionals, because a lot of the coaches on our team are medical professionals, and I think that's because we attract people like that. But I also think that a lot of the coaches who are really successful in Beachbody are medical professionals for a lot of different reasons, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I have some slides that we're going to go through, but I also want you guys to know that at any point in time, that chat box, just use it if you want. If you're using a phone, I'm not sure if you can have the chat box. Let me know if that's wrong, but I'm hoping you can, because with a lot of the apps you can't. But then at the end, we're going to open it up for a lot of question and answer, because we're going to be completely laid back, completely honest. You know, that's how our team is, and if you have any questions, we are more than happy to answer any of those questions for you. Okay, so, and I'm just going to, here we go. And I'm going to share my screen here just so we can kind of go through some of these slides really quick. And then Sarah is my guest speaker. She just became a Diamond Coach on our team. For the new people, you're probably like, what the heck is a Diamond Coach? A Diamond Coach means that she is building her team, and she's been working her butt off, staying consistent, and she's ready to make a significant income with Beachbody and propel forward, and maybe cut back some hours with hygiene, because she is a hygienist just like me. So let me just pull this up here, and we will get started with the slides. There we go. And it'll take a second for it to bring this up. Just want to make sure. All right. Can everybody see the, let's go. I'm going to make sure that it allows us to use this. Can you guys see the What is Coaching webinar? Okay, thank you. Awesome. Okay, so first of all, thank you for taking the time to join our webinar. It could be that one of our coaches on our team invited you because they thought that you would make an amazing coach, or maybe you saw us posting about it or posting about our successes and you thought, heck, you know, I might as well see what it's all about. So I know we're all busy, so we really appreciate your time, and we're going to get you off this call within the next 40 minutes or so, because we don't want to take that time away from you. I'm just going to go down here. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brooke, and I am a registered dental hygienist. I'm an aunt. I am engaged. I'm the worst wedding planner ever. You do not want me to plan your wedding, because Jason and I, who is also a Beachbody coach and a pediatric dentist, we kind of started our whole journey back in November of 2013, I believe, and our team has kind of exploded over time, and we've really started growing right now. I just got a text from Chanel that says there's a 10-person max on Google Hangout. So anyway, we're recording it. We'll send it to them, and those who missed it will be able to get that. So I just wanted to throw that out there if somebody's messaging you. So I am a past binge eater, and I'm not afraid to talk about that. Of course, when I first started coaching, it was something I didn't really want to share. I was very closed off and didn't want to talk a lot about that, especially being in the medical profession. Like, you know, we're supposed to know exactly how to take care of ourselves and, you know, talk the talk and walk the walk. And so for me to be, you know, reaching out for help about the binge eating or even posting about it was a lot for me. But I found that it was almost therapy for me to start sharing my story and sharing things that had kind of impacted my life, you know, before coaching. So the reason I became a coach was initially just to help myself out. You know, you can see my before and after there. The 21-Day Fix was for sure one of my favorite programs, still is, and I always say it's like the program that changed my life, and it really did. You know, it taught me balance, and being a binge eater, it was really difficult to just know how to stop and to portion control, and to know that you can still have those little treats here and there and not feel restricted anymore. So I always say the 21-Day Fix definitely kind of helped so much with my binge eating, and I'll never say cured, because you're never really cured from that, but it definitely helped. From being a coach, I found out that, being a coach and a full-time hygienist, I became a better hygienist in the long run. And I think it was because through coaching, I was able to heal myself and I felt more confident in myself. And I started, not only talking to more people, but building relationships with more people and building more friendships. The time that I signed up to coach was a time in my life where I'd ended a relationship and started a new one with Jason. And there was a lot of, I didn't have a whole lot of friends where I was. I had moved to a new city, and things were tough. And so it's almost like, I posted this today, and it's completely true. You kind of build your own friends in your business, and it's interesting. Hold on, I'm just going to exit out of here. Somebody popped up in there. And it's really interesting because you start surrounding yourself in your own business that you're building with people who are so much more like you. We can't necessarily always choose who we work with, but this is pretty awesome that we get to choose who we spend more time with. Over the course of the last year of coaching, I have been able to pay off a lot of debt, but more importantly, I was able to go down to 3 days a week as a hygienist instead of full time. I think I'll always be a hygienist because I love what I do, but it gives me the freedom to enjoy what I do again. I'm not trying to kill myself and work a million hours to make more money. And those who work in hygiene know that, if your doctor's sick or the weather sucks, you're not getting paid. And, this last week, that happened to me. The week before all the snow came, my doctor had the flu and was out 2 days, and I was out of paycheck for hygiene. And I didn't have to worry about it. And that, just that freedom alone was enough to remind me of why I'm doing this. It's not to get away from hygiene, and we don't want you guys to do that either. We don't want you guys to go away from your medical career. We want you to be able to have the freedom, not stress about it, and to be able to enjoy your patients more and enjoy your job more. I'm finally able to have a savings, and that's huge for me. I wasn't saving anything prior, so that's really big for me to just log into my bank account. And those Thursdays are big for us coaches because that's when we first, we get our paychecks from Beachbody, and it just reminds me of why I'm doing this. So anyway, that's my short version of my story. I'm going to throw the mic over to my coach, Sarah, who was also in hygiene school with me, and we kind of reconnected after school. Was it 2 years after we graduated, 2 or 3 years after we graduated, through Beachbody, and we were just kind of reconnected from my crazy posts. So I'm just going to throw it over to her, and there we go.
We good?
I don't know if anybody can type in there. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, hi, I am Sarah. I'm also a hygienist. Brooke said we graduated hygiene school in 2010 together and kind of reconnected. I saw her posts when she became a coach. I think I asked you about T25 first, but she had been messaging back and forth with me. We've had like some complaints about hygiene and jobs, and she was posting more positive stuff and kind of reached out to me suggesting that I do coaching. It actually took a couple months for me to like take that plunge, but I'm a hygienist full-time. I'm a wife. I've been married. It's going on 2 years this April. I'm an aunt to 2 beautiful little girls. I'm really active in my church and with small groups. That kind of helped out a little bit. My small group activity and Beachbody, they both kind of focus on personal development, so those two kind of play in to each other. I'm a recent Diamond coach. I kind of just started adding people to my team. It feels like overnight. I have this following of amazing coaches. I would say that I'm more of an extrovert. I like to be goofy. I think that's just come with age. I don't care if people laugh at me. It's kind of funny. I also struggled with binge and emotional eating, and it was something that I hid from everyone, my family, my close friends. literally nobody knew that I had any problems with this until I became more open with it. It was actually when Brooke was becoming more open with her struggles with it. And I saw how much it helped me get through that and helps other people get through that. So I just, decided to just be really open with it. And it is.
Don't you want to join us? Hi, everyone who's sticking it out with us.
This is what happens when you're medical professionals. I would have been able to set this up with her.
We don't do computers. Seriously.
We save lives. We don't do computers.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was
my dog.
No. Okay, so we will kind of go ahead and get started. I am recording it. I'll share my screen and everything. I'll kind of just go through the beginning part really quickly. Basically, we were just saying thank you for joining us and taking the time, and now an extra little bit of time because we had some technical issues. But we're really excited that you guys are joining us because this is really, really unique. We wanted to do this for our team because our team is full of medical professionals, and we believe there's a reason for that. We are medical professionals who are coaches, but we're also really successful coaches with Beachbody, and we want to talk about that because we're not advocating quitting your full-time job or doing anything like that, but we want to show that you can be really busy and you can have an awesome career, but you can enjoy more time away from that career so you can enjoy other things and love that career maybe even more. So anyway, I kind of told my story quickly, and then I'm going to have Sarah kind of pick up where we left off, and I'm going to share the screen so we can do that really quick. Can you see the screen, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Let me go down. All right.
Can we just pick up now?
Yep, you go.
Okay. So I'll pick up where I left off. I am a full-time hygienist, and what got me started with coaching, basically I wanted the Shakeology. I didn't want to pay full price, so I thought I'd do from a discount coach at first, get a discount. I never really thought at first that coaching would even be a thing, that I would bring in any kind of income. My workspace became very negative. I think that happens a lot of times in dental offices, but my boss would take off work a lot, which means I didn't get paid for a lot of that time. So I became more active with coaching the more I started working on myself, and I started, figuring out that I was helping out other people, and that became more of an outlet to me. As a hygienist, sometimes even though we do stuff that help people, they don't really see that as help. They come in and they just think you're cleaning my teeth and this is the service I'm paying for, and they hate it anyways. With Beachbody, people would be reaching out to me asking for advice and for help, and that just, was more of a positive outlet for me. I don't really want to completely quit my job and never work hygiene again. I love hygiene. I just would prefer, sorry, those are my dogs. I would prefer to be able to do coaching full time and volunteer and do a lot more mission work. I go on mission trips, and I do dental hygiene on medical trips. So for me, it's a way of doing something that I'm really passionate about, helping others, while also being able to give back and still use my hygiene degree and use that passion outlet as well. So I've also started saving money that I've earned with Beachbody, putting it back into retirement funds. My husband is a full-time real estate agent and contractor. We build homes. Neither one of us have great benefit packages. Actually, we have nothing. So we've had to save everything from our own paychecks. So that goes to fund our retirement funds. Hey, cut it out. So that's it. That's me in a nutshell. Hey.
Your dogs are hilarious.
Gosh,
Okay. So this is just a picture of our team, and this really kind of shows some of the people. Our team has grown so much bigger since this picture, but it does show some of the people on our team and our transformations. But we always want you to know that you don't have to have a transformation to be a coach. A lot of us have a transformation, but it's not what our pictures look like. It's how we feel on the inside. It's how we kind of display ourselves on the outside. But this is a little bit of our team and some of those transformations because we are proud of those. And but we just always want you to know that you don't need that transformation. And sometimes it's easiest to start out at coaching when you start your journey, because if you think about it, that's when you're the most excited about something. You're more likely going to talk about it. You're walking around sore and people are like, what are you doing? So, you know, the beginning of your journey is sometimes the best time to start coaching. We don't want you to think you need to have that before and after. So we did a bit of a tally, and we came up with, our team is growing. We're not huge, but we're getting there. And so we have 16 hygienists, 5 physical therapists, 5 dental assistants, 5 nurses, 2 respiratory therapists, 2 massage therapists, 2 dentists, 2 doctors, and 1 nurse practitioner so far. And I'm guessing that wasn't everybody, but there's a reason that medical professionals are good at coaching. And we're going to talk a lot about that in this webinar. And that's why we're so excited about it, because we feel like this is something that no one has really discussed a lot about. So giving you just a brief background of Beachbody, before coaching, there were these programs, and you may be familiar with P90X. That was probably one of the bigger ones. That was all the way back in 2003. So the programs have been around a long time. You know, back when those programs had first started, they were all infomercial based, and they really didn't have coaches at all. But what they found was only like 20% of people were actually finishing the programs. And what they discovered was helping the people who did was they were joining these chat groups, and they had a support group, and they had challenge groups going on. And so that's where like the coaching idea was born. They found out that by recommending a program that someone was doing, people were more likely to finish it, but then having the support of the other challengers and having that coach support was what really propelled them forward. So that kind of shows you how much Beachbody has grown since the initial launch back in 2003. You know, they started before then, but P90X was kind of when it all started. And there's even more to add on to this little timeline. So, you know, Beachbody comes out with, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 new programs a year. You know, and they're always keeping it new. It's always the latest and best. And you're seeing a lot of them on the infomercials right now. And you'll flip through the channel and have 3 different ones playing at the same time on different channels. And that's because they're preparing us for a bigger launch in the future. And we can't really talk a whole lot about it, but we did get to meet with corporate. Our team did, and they kind of give us some insider scoops. But we're going to be expanding. So they're really trying to prepare the U.S. and some other areas for that. And so that's why you're seeing a lot more of it. They're just trying to get that, you know, the programs in the mind of people. Go down here. So what exactly is a coach? That's probably one of the most common questions we get as coaches. What the heck do you do? We are dedicated to helping others. Just like medical professionals, we enjoy helping others. We see the joy in helping others. We are real. We don't try to be someone else. Now, some new coaches, as they start, they try that way at the beginning, but it's not very successful, and we don't recommend it. Our team is not that way, and we promote you being you and just sharing more of yourself. You know, if you're goofy and outrageous, more power to you. You're going to attract someone in a team that's goofy and outrageous, and that's amazing. We make mistakes, and we encourage mistakes because that's how we learn and how we grow, not just from our coaching business, but as individuals. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits as being a medical professional and a coach is that we've had the opportunity to grow personally. And that's that's something that you don't get to do necessarily in our medical career. They don't promote the you know, self-development and self-improvement as much as something else does, like coaching. And it makes you enjoy your job more and look for little competitive things you can do with yourself at your regular job, whatever you're doing.
We'll go down here. So what is not a coach? We are not salespeople, and we do not ever promote that we're health, fitness, and nutrition experts, because we're not. The programs are there and they work, and that's what we share. We don't try to be know-it-alls, because we're not. And even if we do have a nutrition background or a health and fitness background, people don't care. What we've found as coaches is, when I signed up as a coach, I think my first message to Sarah was like, I'm going to get my personal training certificate, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get my bachelor's. They don't care. They care about how you make them feel. And if you're making them feel better and important, that's what matters. And we're used to that with our patients. We want to make the people who come in our door feel better than when they arrived, when they leave. And so that's kind of the same thing with our challengers and with the clients that we deal with. We just want to make them feel better, and it's innate to us. You do not need to be perfect. We kind of already talked about that. And we don't want you to feel like you need to be a socialite or social media expert, because we're not either. We're always growing, and we're just sharing more of ourselves. The cool thing about our team is we do a lot of research, and we help you grow with your social media and know what to share, and not be salesy, and not be that person that when you pop up on the newsfeed, everybody's like, oh, what is she posting now for sale? That's not us. We're sharing more of ourselves and valuable content. So what are some benefits of being a coach? One of the biggest things is setting your own work hours, and you can do it full-time or part-time. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But one of the biggest things is you kind of can create it however you want it. You can work it a little bit or a lot. And we're there to be your mentor and run with you if you want to run, or walk if you want to walk. It's really whatever you want it to be. When I first started, it was slow and steady wins the race. I wanted to take it slow and let it grow on its own, because I wasn't quite ready yet. And that was fine. I learned a lot in that process. There are some people who sign up and hit the ground running. Danielle on our team, she signed up and was like, boom, I'm ready. I know what I want to do. And she was ready for that. Sarah kind of talked about this, and I talked about it before this call, but just the freedom to do things and not feel like you have to worry about if you have to take off. I just had a death in my family, and just the worry of, I've got to find someone to fill in for me tomorrow, and I've got to move patients around, and I've got to do this. And just the stress of that is really, it's burdening, and I really don't want to have that feeling. But just like she said, going on mission trips, like being able to have that freedom to be home with my future kids, that's what I'm in it for. It's not for the money. It's not for, the recognition. It's more for freedom. And this is kind of where I've been able to mesh it all together. And I feel like a lot of our coaches have kind of seen the bigger picture now with coaching. And I said this before, you enjoy your career more. Like, I enjoy hygiene more now because I have become a coach, and it's kind of taught me more about myself, and I build better relationships with my clients. I almost call them challengers, because they're like challengers to me, and they're like my clients, and I'm their coach, and it makes me feel good when I see them succeed. And it's almost kind of like a challenge now to try to see what what they need and what they want, and helping fill that void. So what are the benefits of being a coach and being a medical professional? So we kind of already touched on a lot of this stuff, but freedom to work less hours and be at home with your family more, go on trips, healthier and happier. I was in a really not so great, very negative environment at a different dental office, and I was able to cut back from that office and take less pay somewhere else to be happier and take care of myself better, because it was almost like there was a dark cloud. I think we all know as medical professionals, and I said this before, we can't choose who we work with, especially if we don't run the office. There's just a lot of people that you would rather not have to work with. Now, some of us are very lucky and have amazing coworkers, but every now and then it's just like you don't want to be there. And that was like, I don't want to be there every minute. So I was able to kind of get away from that. And I know a lot of my coaches can kind of feel that same way. We talked about this as well. Not having to worry about my paycheck. The week before last, we got the really bad snow, and the week before that, my dentist he had the flu. So I was out a paycheck for 2 days because of him having the flu, because if he's not there, I don't get paid. I can't work. And I also lost hours because of the snow. Thank goodness I had Beachbody paycheck coming in on Thursday to kind of help kind of offset that issue. But just the worry of that and never knowing, with a lot of my nursing friends have been laid off at IU, and it's just a really scary feeling to see where healthcare is going, and just kind of have that little cushion to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. So why are medical professionals amazing coaches? So we all know we are very driven, determined, and competitive. And the reason for that is because most of us had to make really good grades to get into our profession. We had to stay determined because usually they tried to cut the weak ones out in the beginning. And you're competitive. You compete against yourself. You're just a go-getter. We're all compassionate. We want to help other people, and we care about helping other people. And we truly do care about other people, which makes it really good to be a coach. And sometimes we care a little too much, so we have to kind of back off a little bit. But one of the biggest things that I've realized as a coach is a lot of us already diagnose. When we have a patient that comes in and we are like, okay, they have this symptom, and this symptom, and we let them tell us what's going on. We just listen. And then in our head, we're kind of already diagnosing, but we're helping them realize what they need to. And I think that's really huge with coaching, because we just listen as coaches. We ask people, what are your goals? What's your struggles? They tell us, and we're already kind of thinking, okay, this would be perfect for this person, and I can help them in this way. But we want them to realize that, because as soon as they start telling you all this stuff, what happens? They're usually like, okay, it's pretty bad. I need to start doing something. So it makes it easy for us because we're already used to doing things like that. And then we just recommend the treatment or the workout routine and diet based on what they told us. One of the biggest things is we know how to communicate with a lot of different personalities and a lot of different people, and we can take constructive criticism. I mean, a lot of us have worked in places where we've had some patients that aren't so nice, so it doesn't hurt our feelings necessarily. If someone says no, or if someone says something rude, which doesn't happen often as coaches, but we know how to handle that. And I think one of the biggest things is we talk the talk and walk the walk. So as medical professionals, we know that we need to be healthy if we're telling other people to be healthy. And so as a coach, that's one of our vital behaviors. We are proof of the products, and we are proof that the system works if you're in the challenge groups and you're encouraging other people. So a lot of people will ask, what do you get as a coach? How do you get paid? So first of all, you can get 25% off of all the products, including Shakeology. You also receive 25% commission on any sales. And there's also other bonuses that you get to, which we're not going to go into because that could get kind of hairy. But we also win free trips, and not only just with Beachbody, but like with our team, and rewards with our team and the team above us. And it's really exciting to be able to go on those trips and just meet other people. I think that's one of the biggest benefits of becoming a coach and being a medical professional. It's just expanding your friends list. We get so kind of narrow-minded in our everyday today job, and it's just nice to have like that outlet of knowing like we have coaches all over the US that we can visit anytime, and that's amazing. And we've been able to reconnect with old friends as well. So I always like to say there's never, ever, ever a perfect time, but it is a good time right now for a couple reasons. One huge one is you're seeing swimsuits everywhere, and people are having panic attacks going into Target and seeing their bikinis hanging up. And I was one of those people, and I was like, all right, it's time. And people are ready to jump on board and do something. It's starting to get a little bit warmer now that the snow's melting, and people want to start something. But one of the biggest reasons is we seriously are one of the top 5 fastest growing teams in the United States. We had Jeff Kay, which is a corporate guy, come out and fly out from LA from Beachbody Corporate to meet with our team because we are doing so well. And he just called me yesterday. I talked to him, and he's like, you doubled in size from last week. And we're not doing anything crazy. We don't want to recruit a bunch of coaches and earn all this money. That's not our goal. We want to share what we're doing because it's made us happier and helped our paychecks, you know, in all honesty. But we're not into expanding in world domination. That's not why we're growing so fast. I think it's because we're unique and we are offering hope. Not only with a possibility of getting an earned income from something else, but also just becoming a better person physically, emotionally, mentally, and people see that and they just want to be a part of it. For the first time since we've been coaches, we've had a lot of people just come to us and say, I don't know what you guys do, but I want to be a part of it, because people want to be a part of something positive. And there's so much negativity out there. And just for us to offer this little glimmer of hope, they love that and they want to be a part of it. Not only is it because of that, but we also have a really amazing training system that we just kind of discovered and we implemented this last month or so, and it walks you step by step. So if you do become a new coach, I know as medical professionals, we're used to studying and by the book and learning the ins and outs and everything, and that's what I needed. So I had to create that, and I was like, all right, guys, we need step-by-step processes that are just duplicatable, so that if anybody joins at any time, they can become successful with or without us. And we're there 100% of the time to mentor you, but just to know that that's there for you step-by-step through your entire journey. So what are your options as coaching? If you want to sign up to coach, the very first level that we talk about is a discount coach. Say you're like, I just want to focus on myself. I don't want to invite anybody on this journey with me. I love Shakeology and I want to get it at a discount. That's you, and you're in that level 1 over here to the left. Say you are thinking, okay, people are already asking me about what I'm doing, and I'm thinking that I want to share it with them, and maybe over time as I work on myself and maybe I become more comfortable and more confident, I would like to earn a little extra money. You might be that part-time coach. And then there's the all-in coach, and those are the people who are just like, I'm sick of what I'm doing. I want to build an empire, and I'm going to hit the ground running. Show me how to do it, and we can show you how to do that if that's your goal. I definitely started as a discount coach, and I think a lot of people do. And over time, you just kind of get it's almost like a drug. You get addicted to helping people, and you just want to keep doing that. So it just keeps going up those levels. And then you start seeing, oh my gosh, you know, the paychecks are real, and this is serious. And look at the lives we're not only changing our challenge groups, but look at the lives we're changing on our coaching team. And adding more coaches who, you know, have that fire in their eye, like I'm going 100%, you know, and that's what helps me keep going. And that's what helps me realize why I'm doing this. There we go. So how do you get started? For a lot of you may not know that there is pretty much no cost to get started as a coach, because a lot of you have already bought a challenge pack. If you haven't, a challenge pack is basically the Shakeology month supply plus a fitness program. It's free to sign up if you do that option. And then you have a $15.95 fee after that every month. Now, they just changed this. It used to just be active military, but now it's veterans, retirees, and their spouses do not pay that $15.95 monthly fee. And what that fee covers is basically all of the websites that Beachbody gives us to use, but we don't hold products in our house. We are not shipping anything from our house. If there's an issue with a product, the person might contact us, but we are referring them to customer service, and Beachbody takes care of it. Those are things that we don't worry about. I know with a lot of other companies, you have to buy in to it. You don't really buy into anything with Beachbody, and that's amazing. And sometimes it's not amazing, because then people are like, I'm going to be a coach because it's free. But we want you to feel like you are making an investment when you sign up. Even if it is a discount coach, feel like you're making a huge $1 million investment into something, because you're more likely to succeed, not only at your own health and fitness goals, but helping other people if you feel like you're treating it like $1 million business. So what should you know before you start? There's no pyramid scheme. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme at all. Again, no products in your home. We are not salespeople. You can, I've had people contact me that said, well, I can't ever go above what you're doing right now because you started, or Jason started the team, or whoever. And that's completely not true. It's set up in a way that you can go above and beyond anybody in the company. So there's usually, we have top 10 coaches in the US, and there's somebody different in there every year. And that's because the way it's set up is they want new people to succeed every year. They don't want the same people at the top. And that's amazing. That's amazing to be a part of a company like that. And again, unlimited growth potential. You are your own CEO. So you are not employed by Beachbody. You are employed by yourself. So you have to kind of treat it like that. You are your own CEO. And it's just like, some people might be on the call and they work for a doctor, a dentist, or a hospital. You don't micromanage everybody. The people you add to your team, that's not what you do as a coach as you're growing. You basically just kind of support them and help them and give them the information that they need to help them grow. You do become a leader, and that's one of the most amazing transformations I feel like you make as a coach, is at one point you decide, I'm stepping into a leadership role, and it makes your coaching career just so much more fulfilling, seeing other coaches succeed. I always like to say this because it's very, very true. Our busiest coaches are our most successful coaches. And I think our team would agree that, people usually say, well, I don't think I have time and I'm doing this. Heck, I signed up when I was taking 13 credit hours, get my bachelor's, working 5 and 6 days a week, still battling a binge eating issue and not at my goal. And I was still able to make a pretty awesome paycheck just being a coach, but also just building credibility as a coach. And I was busy. I mean, we were very, very busy. Jason is a full-time pediatric dentist, spends 2 days in the hospital in surgery cases a week, sometimes 3, and travels a lot. So there's no way that you could say, I don't have the time. Chanel on our team, perfect example. I think she lived in like 10 different states in the last year, but it seems like that. But every time I talk to her, she's like, oh, I'm here now, because she was finishing her degree, and that meant a lot to her, but so did coaching, and so did her transformation. So what can you expect from our team? As I said before, we are a team of integrity, and we are going to be there for you till the end. If you want to run, we'll run with you. If you want to walk, we will walk with you. But you're going to expect a mentorship from us. And what we mean by that is we are going to give you the training steps that you need to work the business any way you want because of the way that we've set it up for you. And then if you decide at some point, I'm ready to run, if you start out kind of walking, you're like, I'm ready to run, we can do that with you as well. But you're going to expect a lot of support from us. But I posted this today. It's almost like we've built our own family and sorority. We had a coach on our team who really had his electricity and heat cut off. And he had no money in his bank account. And he had posted about it. And he was talking about how frustrated he was and angry because he works, these long hours and he still wasn't able to keep his electricity on. And someone anonymously from our team sent him an amount of money to get his electricity turned back on. And he was only a coach for a week. I told you I had, a death in my family last night, and the overwhelming support and messages and calls from people on our team who I thought were just my teammates have become my family and my friends. And that's really important because when you have a community like that, it just makes your life so much more fulfilling and joyful. So anyway, before I get all teary-eyed and all that fun stuff, we are going to jump into question and answer time. And I tried to rush through that. Yay, it's 9 o'clock, so it's not too bad. So if you guys have any questions, we would love to answer those at this time because we want you guys to just ask anything. And if you're muted, if you feel like you're talking and nobody's answering you, check out your little microphone. You might be muted.
Maybe unmute themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You can move over.
Yeah. Everybody say hello to Jason. I don't know if you can see him. Let me stop share.
Yeah, maybe. And you can put the grid on the upper right.
Okay, there we go. I see so many familiar faces.
I was here the whole time like a puppet.
Yeah. I was like, don't just slide in here. It's going to be loud. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice too. I think a lot of us are kind of getting under the weather. So does anybody have any questions about, the sign-up process, anything with coaching fees or anything like that? Because I feel like that's one of the things that people usually ask the most about. You guys just know everything. Chanel, are you there?
I am.
Do you want to share anything?
Oh, gosh. What would you like me to share?
Your whole life story. No. I think
no one has time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, but I think your story is, short in a nutshell, is amazing because, like I said, how many cities did you really live in when you started coaching?
Well, when I started Beachbody, I was living in South Carolina, finishing up my doctorate clinicals, and I guess it was like after about 8 weeks, like the first round of T25 that I had that transformation, and just decided that I just needed to be sharing this with people. And at that time I was kind of doing it for a discount and kind of wavering in between that and just wanting to share it with family and friends. And I just felt compelled to share it with other people, no matter how big or small that was. And then after a few months of doing that, I realized that it could be something much bigger, and that it was really, really impacting people on a level that I really wanted it to impact. So, I was living in South Carolina, and then I moved to Chicago, and, then May came, and I had a summer full of, manual therapy certification courses in Florida. And so, I was traveling pretty much, and, taking exit exams and preparing for boards and all of that. So, I can say that last year was probably the busiest year of my entire life. And it was also the same year that I started coaching. But I can say that I've never had a more fulfilling year in my whole life. It was crazy busy, but it was so life-changing. There's just something about helping people in this way that elevates your own life and elevates your career. And I think it's made me a better therapist. It's made me a better example for other people and my patients. So, it was a crazy year, but it was a really great year. And, this year started off even better. So
yeah,
it's exciting. It's exciting to see where all of it's going to go.
I think at the beginning of this year, our goals as coaches on our team, we hit those faster than what we thought, a lot of our team members. So it's like now we've got to kind of readjust and point ourselves in another direction. But I like that you talked about how, it makes, with your job especially, because, being a physical therapist, I know you said a lot of the patients you deal with, they're overweight. And if they just lost a little bit of weight, how much healthier and more mobile they would be, and how easier their physical therapy would be, or more successful, just from being able to be a little bit more mobile,
Right. Yeah, definitely. And, our society is very much into the quick fix phenomenon. And, it's, people assume that if something hurts, they go to an orthopedic surgeon, they'll just have it fixed and that's it. But, in terms of physical therapy, it's so important for people to understand that there's a reason why your body is in the shape that it's in. And putting in a brand new part isn't going to fix the dysfunction. Like, you have to get to the root of what has happened to you that has caused your weight gain and has caused your deformation, I guess you could say. And that's what I really like about coaching. It just helps reiterates all of that. And, when you start focusing on personal development and you start becoming a better person, it's just amazing how that spills over into every part of your life. And, that's something that I definitely want to kind of reiterate with my patients as well.
Yeah, and I think even just today, I had a patient that, normally before coaching, it was kind of like was like, all right, I'm going to clean teeth the rest of my life. This is great. And it sounded really awesome before, but it's very, it gets tiring doing the same thing over and over, just like with any other job, but then dealing with the same thing over and over, the same dirty teeth over and over. But being able to understand where the people are coming from the personal development I've done, but also working with clients and realizing everybody's got a story. So when I have someone in the chair, it's not, I'm sitting there talking to them about their oral health. Half the time I'll get done with the appointment now, and I don't even know if I cleaned their teeth because I'm talking to them about their kids and family and job and everything else, which is never good. But, that's how Jason is. That's how he runs his practice. And he was that way before. He runs a pediatric practice, and a lot of pediatric offices, dental offices, a lot of medical places are treatment-based. And it's come in when you're in pain, wait until it gets bad, and that's unfortunate. But, Jason has always had like a preventative type practice, and now he's able to elaborate on that and reach more people because, let's face it, we see maybe, in hygiene, we see maybe 8 patients a day, if that, and then there's some that just sit in the chair like with a scowl. It's like, really? And I had those all day today. I was like, the one day I need people to be happy for me. They were just not happy today. And I was like trying everything to get this one guy to laugh, but you just can't control that. But when you're able to attract people who are actually wanting what you have to offer, and they see hope in what you've done, it's amazing. And like I said before, you become like their little coach in your medical practice and as a coach. But do you have anything you'd like to add, Jason?
Well, actually, today I did ask a couple of my parents that have been the kids have been my patients for, since for the last couple of years. And I asked them, what would you notice is the difference since I became, because they all know I'm a Beachbody coach. What would you notice is the big difference between last year and this year? Because they always like coming, but did you notice anything different? And a lot of them said about the same thing. They said, you are just so present. Like, I just feel like we were best friends when we started talking. And, because I am completely inappropriate. I mean, if you look at my Facebook, I mean, it's like a lot of things people are like, why would, because I speak my mind. And yet, if you look at, my reviews on the practice, they're all positive reviews. Why? It's because we just lost touch with reality. We need to kind of get back into who we are. And that's what coaching does. And that's what's awesome, is that there's just something that drives you, especially as medical professionals, that we just become kind of a result of people around us. And when you start coaching, you have to figure out who you are, because that's who you're going to be able to help and who you're going to be able to attract. And most of us go our whole lives where, we may become attached to somebody of the opposite sex or whatever. We don't even know who we are anymore. And to me, that's probably one of the biggest impact that coaching has done for me.
And I think when you talk about that, my identity was going to be my career. So it was like, I became a hygienist and I was like, okay, this is it. And then I went to go get my bachelor's. I'm like, okay, this is it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to research going to be a dentist. And it was just like the same thing happening over and over, because I had never focused on me and me being just happy with what I was doing and how I was helping other people. And I didn't know how to do that. And coaching kind of became that avenue. And I think a lot of people do that. It's just like, we're told, go to school and get a degree and get an amazing job and make money and retire when you're 60, and that's not good enough for me. I want to be able to be there and, like he said, be present, not only with my patients, but be present with my future kiddos. So I think it's become kind of an outlet for that. And it can realistically happen, I think there's a chat. Let me see. Could you explain how sign up to be a coach and what the fees are, just to recap? Okay, so the fees to sign up to be a coach, basically a lot of you, I think I kind of touched on it. If you've bought a challenge pack in the past, it is free to sign up to coach. You will have to just log in. Your coach can send you the link. You'll have to log in and type in a few things, and then it will have you pay the $39.95, and then we have a form that you submit, and it gets refunded within 2 to 3 business days, that fee. And then each month it's $15.95 after that. And that is to cover all those business expenses that we don't do ourselves, like the shipping and customer service and taxes, all the stuff that they do that we don't. And then, if you decide to just sign up and you haven't bought a challenge pack, then you would pay the $40 and you don't get that back. I always recommend, even if you have bought a challenge pack in the past, go ahead and sign up, because it's just easier that way. That's the way I did it. Sign up with another challenge pack of a program that you want, or maybe you could use it as a prize in one of your future challenges, whatever it is you might want to do. But then that way you have a library of a different workout when you're done with what you're doing, and you get it at that discounted rate. Because when you sign up to coach, you don't get challenge packs anymore, because we do get a 25% discount on everything. So you don't get those challenge packs anymore after this. But that is pretty much it on the coach. There's no hidden fees associated with it. You can cancel at any time. No long-term commitments or anything like that.
And when you get the second challenge pack, a lot of times we recommend getting packets for that second challenge pack to give us samples. Sometimes we've gotten away from that, but that's a great way to begin to grow your business.
And of course, we say if you're signing up to build a business and really earn an income, you should be on Shakeology. A lot of people already are, but that would be a monthly expense. And I'm just going to say this off the record, I guess, but you can write off those expenses, those monthly expenses of Shakeology, your programs, whatever it is that you pay for, because it's your business. You are sharing what you're doing, and that's marketing. So as we're doing up our taxes, it's like, gosh, my new tennis shoes, it adds up over time. Now, you have to be smart with that, and we always say, see your CPA. But when you're thinking about, okay, well, I'm going to do this a month, and what if my husband signs up or my wife, over time, just remember that those are business expenses that can be taken off of your income later down the road too.
Nice samples, Harvey.
That's awesome.
Harvey's a dentist on the upper right.
Harvey is a dentist, and his business has really, he's kind of rejuvenated. And let me unmute you. There you go.
I just got this sample. I ran out of my samples at the office. So I got this box of 24 chocolate just for samples. Actually, it came in today. That's why I ran over and took off the plastic. So the stuff is amazing. It actually works. It's the wrong word, but
yeah, it does
work. Yeah, I guess. Look at me, I'm huge.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we like to talk about too. We don't ever there's all these competing things that are coming out. Has anybody heard of Plexus? I think that's something new. I've had some people ask me about it, and I'm like, I'm going to go with the stuff that's clinically proven and, has been out for a while. I don't just trust the stuff that keeps, it works, came out with some more stuff, and I'm just like, I was actually talking to a challenger yesterday, and she sent me a list of the stuff she was taking, and I was just shocked with the amount of money and stuff she was taking. And she looked at the ingredients in the Shakeology and compared it to everything she was taking, and she was like, yeah, I'm not going to take these anymore. This is ridiculous. It's just easy. It's an easy way to get in your nutrition for the day. So, and it tastes good.
It does taste good.
Anybody else have any questions? I don't see any in the chat box yet or anything. Come on, you guys got to have some questions. So
everybody's already sold. Yeah. This is the best thing I've ever seen.
No, but we just wanted it to be kind of laid back, and I tried to go through the slides, pretty quickly, because I know we kind of got started late with that fiasco. As you know, one of our biggest things is we like to make mistakes because we learn from them, and next time we will not use Google Hangouts on air. Chanel told me to do it.
It was a great idea.
I got a message from Chanel, and she's like, abort ship. I was like, oh, okay. So that didn't work. And we were doing so well, weren't we, Sarah? So it was good while it lasted. So anyway, thank you guys for getting on the call with us, and we're gonna keep that little event page open so you can ask some more questions in there. You can contact your coach, whatever works best for you, and we'll have this recorded because I know a lot of people wanted to listen to the playback and everything. But if you have any questions, ask in there, and we're more than happy to answer those for you. But I hope we covered the essentials. So, all right, we're gonna hop off of here. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.